Okay, so we said last time that on our script, our studio file contains four window panes. No, this is the script or source window pane. This is the environment. This is the console, and this is the files, plots, and packages. We might have we will have different interfaces. So I'd like us to first, okay, if you type get wd, that's get working directory, it will tell you where is the default directory where R will save the files. So I'm running this in the console. Okay, before we do that, okay, now let's take a look first at the appearance. Here, it's colored white. So let me ask you what you prefer. If I go to Tools, Global Options, we can change the appearance of this. Go to Tools and Global Options. So you'll find here Appearance. Okay. We have several theme options. I'm now using Chrome, but let me ask you if you prefer Cobalt. So if I OK this will appear. Okay. So may I know, class, if what's your preference? Is it Chrome, the white one, or this one, the blue one? So this is Cobalt, the other one is Chrome. So kindly chat, please. What's your preference? Let's carry this to a democratic process. Votation. Cobalt. So kay Kim, Cobalt. So kay Hana, mukhang, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, mukhang, how about the rest? The others, please. Okay. Okay, so mukhang majority, no? Cobalt. So we'll use Cobalt. Okay, so this will be the theme that we're going to use. I think it's easier on the eyes and mas nakikita natin yung ano, no, yung mga code. Also, we can change the positions of the window panes. Ang default niya, si console nasa ilalim. Okay, but personally, I prefer the console to be on the right side because if I write codes here and then if I run the code, the answers will be also generated in the console. And it's more convenient kasi nasa right-hand side, kita mo kagad yung answer. Unlike if it's below, maybe you'll need to toggle pa, lalo na kung mahaba na yung mga answers. No? So, for me, preferable na yung console nasa right-hand side. So, if it's not on the right-hand side, kung nasa ilalim yung console, how do you change the position of the console? Again, go to Tools, okay, Global Options, and then here, Pane Layout. So the default is that the environment is here. Okay, the environment is here on the upper right, and the console is here below. If you want to change this setting, okay, if I want the console to be here, I just go to this window pane and then click this one and then console. Automatically, mag-change sila, mag-swap sila. So yung console natin, andi dito na. And then okay. All right, so the console is now here. Okay, so there are 4 window panes here for your RStudio. Unlike yung R kasi, yung R, isa lang yun, no? And it's quite drab. And it's easier to navigate and work on data using R Markdown. That's why we said that we're going to use the R Markdown IDE. All right, to know where R automatically defaults the saving of your files, if you're going to save the file, isa-save niya sa working directory. So iba-iba tayo. If you type get wd, get working directory, Control Enter, and then in my case, it's the default working directory. Binago ko kasi ito, no, is in this location. It's in this location. So, Okay, you can change this. No? In your case, could you kindly chat which is your working directory? Paki-chat nga please kung saan lumabas yung working directory nyo. Chances are it will be in users. No? Nasa C users siya. Okay? Users. All right. Thank you. How about the others? Okay. Thank you. All right. So, same sa FinStar class. But Puji, were you my student in FinStar? Okay. So kay Kuji, kasi ginawa namin kanina, no? Or was it yesterday? Yesterday. Okay. All right. So you have your default working directory. If you want to change that, so pwede natin gawin set WD. Yan. Set WD, set working directory. Tapos, yung set working directory niyan, kunyari, you want it to be in the desktop. Yan, nasa desktop yung working directory niyo. So what you do is you, here, go to the location where you want the working directory to be. Okay, kay Lawrence, nasa desktop naman, ano? Ibig sabihin dyan naka-set yung default ng R. Okay. So, if you go to the place, the location where you want, which you want to be the working directory. So, kunyari, dito sa akin sa desktop. What I'm going to do is go to the desktop here, click desktop, and then, sa ilalim dito sa clipboard, andito yung copy path. So, I click this one, copy path, and then go back to R here, and then set WD, Control V. Oops, mali. Hindi niya na-copy yung path. Delete, copy path ko ulit. Click desktop, and then copy path. So go back to R. Then Control V. Ayaw. Ayaw, makopy yung path. Dali ah. Okay, so this PC, tapos desktop. Naka-gray out. Ba't naka-gray out? I just choose a particular folder here, our topics. Ayan. So, kailangan lumabas to eh, no? Nag-gray out kanina, so ibig sabihin hindi natin ma-access yan. So, ito. So, I just choose a particular folder here, kunyari, our topics, no? So, kailangan pala desktop and then choose a folder. Or you can create a new folder, tapos yun ang i-click nyo, no? So, i-click ko lang tong our topics na to, and then copy path. Alright, then go back to R, and then Control V. So, it now tells me that it's now here, no? Nasa our topics, users, admin na, kung gusto ko ditong ilagay, no? Otherwise, I can create another folder, tas desktop, tas kung ano man yung folder na yun. And then you have to change this, kasi ayaw ni R ng backward slash, gusto niya ng forward slash. So this is forward slash. Okay. All right. So when I click this, yung set WD na to, all right. So ngayon, if I check again, asan na yung get working directory ko, it will now be here. Ito na yung working directory ko. There, andyan na, no? So why is that important? Kasi pag nagsisave ka ng file, kunyari, Control S lang, automatically dyan niya isi-save sa working directory na yan. Okay. But we're not going to do that, no? I-delete ko lang to. Close ko lang to. Okay? We're not going to do that. Another way to automatically save your files is by creating projects. Okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to create projects now. So, magkre-create tayo ng isang project for FINLYTS K31. So, magkakaroon tayo ng directory doon, o folder doon. Tapos dun sa folder na yun, mag-create tayo ng panibagong projects, yung mga topics natin. Okay? So meron tayong mother folder, yung subject natin, and then inside that will be subfolders for the specific lessons that we're going to do. So let's do that, no? Kasi it's always advisable to create projects when you're working with R. And you'll see the inherent advantage of that when we continue, no? As we continue. Okay, so how do we create a project? So here, go to File, and then New Project dito. File, and then New Project. I click this, and then here, sabi Create Projects, and then we create a new directory. New directory, new project, and then it will tell us the directory name. So let me create FINLYTS underscore FINLY K FINLY. I'll just call it K33, although yung FINLY dapat K31. Okay. So that will be the name of, that's T3, term 3, AY 2022 up to 2023. So I'm creating this folder or this directory. Tapos browse, dito ko siya ilalagay sa desktop. I'll put it in the desktop, no? So sa desktop na to, mag-create siya ng isang folder. Okay. Okay. And then click this, open a new session para magbukas siya, and then create a project. Create project. Okay, so what will happen is that it will open a new instance of RStudio. Ito yung ginamit namin kanina, so I'll close this. Okay, I'll close this first. Ito yung kanina, no? All right. So now, if I take a look at my desktop, meron na siya ditong meron na siya ditong FINLYTS, no? Ito. Mali pa yung spelling. FINLY K33. Okay. All right. And then, it's now a new folder here. Close ko lang to. Ito na yung folder natin, no? Ito na yung project natin. Nakalagay FINLYTS, FINLY K33. And notice that dito sa mga files, andito yung R project. Ito yung R project na create natin. Alright? So, when we open yung R natin, nag-automatically siya, nag-create siya ng R script. R script to, di ba? Kasi wala siyang code chunk. Iba yung R Markdown kasi may code chunk yun. Okay, which we'll explain in a while. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you. Mag-chat ako sa chat box natin. Mag-chat ako ng isang file. Ito RMD file, data and data structures. Okay? Right, send ko sa inyo yan. Okay. Tapos, download it first and then we're going to do something about that. Okay, so meron na tayong isang project, di ba? Folder natin, itong FINLYTS. And inside that is your R project, yung FINLYTS din. So what we're going to do is mag-create ulit tayo ng panibagong R project. But this time, it's inside FINLYTS. So yung mga lessons natin, ilalagay natin dito. So let's start now. Let's open again yung itong R natin, yung our project natin, which is FINLYTS. And then, File, New Project ulit tayo. So, New Project, this will be inside yung FINLYTS folder natin. So, New Directory again, New Project. And let's call the project 1, Intro to R, Data and Data Structures. Okay? All right. Then dito sa browse natin, gusto natin subdirectory siya ng yung project natin, yung FINLYTS. Okay, this one. I'm going to put that there. Okay, open. All right. So ang directory name natin, intro to R. So yung next project natin, kunyari, optimization. So magiging number 2 yun. Lagyan lang natin ang number yung mga topics. Okay, and then here, open again, new session, and then create a project. Pag in-open natin to class, magbubukas siya ng panibagong R, no? R Studio. R file, create project. Okay, so ngayon, dalawa na yung R natin, ano? Meron na tayo yung kanina, yung FINLYTS, at saka yung introduction to R. Close ko na tong FINLYTS, no? Nagawa na niya yung purpose niya, which is the creation of a folder to house all our projects. Okay, so ito, yung introduction to R, this is another project inside FINLYTS project, no? Tapos ang file niya ito. Now what I'm going to do is, yung file na sinare ko sa inyo, the file that I shared with you, kindly, okay, I'll just open here i-copy paste nyo sa dun sa ano. Okay. I'm going to copy this. Yung sinare ko sa inyo ngayon. And put it here. Wala yung ano. Open ko yung ano natin, yung nasa desktop, yung FINLYTS natin here. And then inside this folder, yung project natin na into2R, inside that, I'm going to paste. Doon ko ipe-paste yung ano, yung file natin. Okay, so this is a good way to manage or to manage your data using the R projects folder. Ang advantage nito, class, kunyari nag-generate tayo ng panibagong RMD file, no? Or R script file. Tapos nagkaroon ng brownout. So, where the file will still be preserved, no? Inside the R project. Unlike if you were just using an ordinary folder, which is not an R project, if suddenly there's a power outage and you have an R Markdown file with 500 code chunks already, 500 rows of code, and then if there's a power outage and you were not able to save that, then you will not be able to recover that. Lost na yun. But if it's inside an R project, and then you lost power, wala ng power, tas hindi nyo pa nasisave yung yung file na yun, don't fret, don't worry, because our project automatically saves that. Okay, so yun ang advantage itong R project na to. Aside from other advantages, it's very good for data management. Okay, so andi dito na class, di ba, yung ano natin, linode ko na dito sa folder natin dito. So if I open R, okay, what happened, class? You notice that the file that we loaded, ito, diba? RMD files and data structure. Ito yung sinare ko sa inyo. It's an RMD file, no? R Markdown file. It's here, no? Diba hindi ko naman siya pinost dito, doon ko siya pinost sa folder. Okay, so because this is a representation of the folder itself of the R project, so lalabas to. Lumabas tong .rmd na to. Okay, so chat please kung clear so far tayo. May I have your confirmation if you're able to see now under files in our R project yung data structures na file. Okay, thank you. Waiting for the others. Okay, good. So I hope you're able to follow. And then if you're creating, kunyari, yung case study nyo dito, gawa nyo talaga ng project. Okay, and then you load there kung may data files kayo doon, kung may picture file na gagamitin nyo kunyari sa case, kukuha kayo ng JPEG na file or PNG or whatever. Tapos ipopost nyo dun sa RMD file nyo. Mas maganda kung andi dito yung object, no? Mas madali. Okay. Okay, so let's now open this file. Pag in-open nyo to, yung nasa files na to, automatically, maloload dito yan, no? Yan, it will be loaded here. All right. So let's take a look at this first. Okay, first things first, you notice that the file, okay, itong RMD file na to, yung RMD files and data structure, part 1, you notice that if I click this, on the upper right, may outline dito. If I click that, mawawala yung outline. If I click this, andyan yung outline. Now, this is very useful for navigating through your output, no? Your file. Kasi kunyari, mahaba na yung output na yan, you can easily go to each one of them, no? Kunyari, ito, operations. Yan. Yun. No? You can easily go through to any of this, any of the items here. Now, how is the outline generated? So, tingnan natin to una. I'll click Introduction to R. And notice, meron siyang isang pound key, no? So, pag isang pound, ibig sabihin, main heading yan. Kaya dito siya. So, if I go here, Introduction to R Markdown, may 1 din siya. 1 pound sign. So, ibig sabihin yan, siya yung main heading. If I go here, so data classes, isa din yan kasi magkakahana yan, no? Isa din siya. However, if I go here to data classes, under the data classes main heading, okay, what do you notice? Dalawa na yung, ano niya, pound sign, no? 2. So, if you have 1 pound sign and under it you have 2 pound sign, ibig sabihin nun, sub-classification yan ng number 1. So make good use of this class, no? So gamitin nyo yung hashtag or your pound key sign in order to create headings, no? Yung isa, that's the main heading. Pag dalawa, under that, no? Under dun sa main heading. So you can have up to 6 layers of headings. Yun ang ina-accommodate ni R up to level 6. Okay? So any questions about this outline so far, class? Clear ba siya? Magagamit nyo yan sa output nyo. So yung use ng hashtag or ng pound sign. Okay? Any confirmation, class? Kung clear so far? May I request you not to be stingy with a yes or a no, please? Yung hindi ko na kailangan na pilitin pa kayo kasi kayo na mismo magkukusa mag-answer. That will be good. Kasi konti lang naman tayo eh. So, mas mahirap to kung pahirapan pa akong magdo-draw out ng feedback from your end. Okay, and please, I hope everybody gives their feedback. Kasi ilan lang nag-feedback nito ngayon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 kayo eh. 10 kayo and then 5 lang yung nagbibigay ng feedback. So, I hope everybody participates, okay? Especially in giving of feedbacks. Okay, so we learned about the use of the outline. Okay, so how about this? Okay, so dito, class, you have here your YAML. What's YAML? YAML. So how do you know it's a YAML? Meron siyang 3 lines starting, 3 lines ending. And so this is used for printing purposes. So let's first remove this lang muna, itong TOC, true. Okay. And then we'll get back to that later on. So you have here the title, and then data structures, ito yung title, and then author, and then date, and then the output, HTML document. So ito, YAML siya, yet another markup language. It's used in printing your data, your output. Okay? All right. Class, excuse me, let me just get water kasi I feel medyo dehydrated. Sandali lang ha. Let me just pause recording. Please remind me to continue. All right. So we were talking about the yet another markup language, about the YAML. So the YAML has its purpose. No? So let me just illustrate to you what this does. Let's open open another RMD file here. So how do you open in your R file? you can open here several tabs of RMD, RScript, whatever. So if I click this one here, the new file, so you can create a new RScript, a Quarto document, a Quarto presentation, an R notebook, and R Markdown. Okay. So if I open an R script, or the shortcut is Control Shift N, if I open this, so may nag-open na R script dito, no? It's another tab here, right? Untitled siya. So if I open another R Markdown here, okay, by the way, I can open a Quarto document. No? So a Quarto document, if I open this, so let me just call it QMD1 Quarto Markdown. Okay. Then you can see here default HTML, etc. Okay, and then create. You can see that the interface, the output of the QMD file is different from the R Markdown file. So mas maganda yung sa printing yung QMD file, no? Yung Quarto. Okay, so in the course of this subject, you'll be required to generate an output this time not using RMD but QMD. Kasi ito yung bagong document. Mas powerful to, no? Just let's say compare natin, no? Tanggalin ko na itong si R script. So ito, tingnan nyo, yung interface nito. So we have here some tabs. Okay? Pag dito sa sa QMD, right, andyan yung mga tabs, pero may additional, may source, may visual, merong sa font, sa headers, no, sa heading. Tapos meron kang insert, you can insert a table, a figure. Okay, you can insert a call out. So maraming pwedeng gawin dito sa QMD file. Pwede ka pang gumawa ng code shell na Python. Okay, for example, I'll create a code shell for Python. Okay, so ito, no? Ito yung code for Python, ito yung code chunk niya. If it's for R, so kunyari dito naman mag-create ako for R, no? Insert code shell for R. Ito naman sa R, di ba? Sa Python, halos pareho lang interface niya, no? Of course, magkakaiba yung code. Okay, so as I said, medyo iba yung iba yung yung Quarto. Mas powerful siya. And you can also create a presentation, parang in lieu of a PowerPoint presentation. The Quarto presentation is more dynamic kasi mako-connect mo siya sa sa script mo eh. Okay? So you're able to you create a script and then you generate a Quarto or RMD presentation out of that. And then you have R Markdown, no? So click natin to R Markdown na to. Okay, so let me say RMD1 sample lang. And then yung date, notice na pwede ko ilagay yung date ngayon or ito, use current date when rendering the document. Anong advantage nito? Default to na let's say i-knit natin ngayon yung document na yan, ipiprint yung date ngayon. But if we're going to knit it, ipiprint natin siya as HTML file, for example, next week, then ang date na magre-reflect is the date when you're going to knit it. Okay, so we have here the option HTML, PDF, Word. Okay, so I'm creating a new RMD file. Ito yon, no? Title RMD1, author ako kasi sa computer ko. And then this one, hindi niya linagay yung date, yung actual date, yung May 11, May 12. Ginawa niya, function R system.date, yung system ng computer ko. Okay? Alright? And then, andyan yung mga codes, no? Ito, I think we did this before. Okay, the summary function will give us the 6 number summary. Yung cars, that's a data set. and it comes pre-packaged with R. Ibig sabihin, pag inopen mo si R, ma-access mo yung cars dataset na yun. Tapos, kinompute na sa atin, no? The summary function gives us the minimum value, first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, the mean, and the maximum value. Okay, and then, dito may function ng plots. No? If we run this, magkakaroon ng plots na yung pressure daw, yung object na pressure from a dataset pressure that also comes preloaded with R. Alright, so once we're done with the document and gusto natin siya in-print, kasi ganyan mangyayari sa ano nyo, no, sa output nyo, what you can do is you can knit it. Ito, knit. Okay, knit, either knit to HTML, PDF, Word, etc. So isa sa requirement nyo is to knit it to HTML. So if I click knit to HTML, what happens? So tatanungin niya kung saan isi-save yung file. And take a look at the default. No? The default is in this working directory, kung saan yung project natin naka-reside. Ito. Diba? Right? FINLYTS, FINLYTS, inside Introduction to R. Kasi yan ang open na ano ngayon na R project. Okay, so I'll call it HTML1. Okay, save. Pagka-save nyo class, anong mangyayari? Tingnan nyo, nag-save dito. Sa folder natin, may dumating na HTML. Tapos nagko-compute siya, nagre-render siya. And then it gives us the output. Ito na, no? Ito yung magiging output nyo pag sa mga cases nyo. So, andito yung title, RMD1, Bobby Bailon, and then take note. Di ba, hindi naman in-specify, pero alam mo kasi ng computer kung anong date mo yun. So, ilalagay niya. So, if this is to be printed or rendered 2 weeks from now, automatic yun, gagawin niya yung date na to, 2 weeks from now. Okay? And then we have here, our Markdown na. Ano nangyari, class? What happened? Kasi dito, ano nangyari sa document, sa ano na to, code chunk na to? Notice this code chunk did not appear. Neither was it run. Bakit? Kasi ito, include is equal to false. So pag include is equal to false, hindi niya ipiprint yan, hindi niya isasama. No? Hindi niya isasama yung result nito, at saka hindi niya isasama yung code na to. Alright, clear yun? Hindi niya isasama yung code sa printout, hindi niya rin isasama yung result nito kasi may result to eh, itong function na to. Hindi niya isasama yun dun sa printout. Okay? And then we have here yung text natin, our Markdown. So makikita mo dito yan. No? Yan siya. Yan. And then you have here the code chunk summary cards. Diba? Ginawa natin to. And na-generate siya. So this is a lot more flexible. Kasi andyan dyan na yung output, no? Kaysa sa Word, magta-type ka, tapos ika-copy-paste mo pa kung saang software nyo ginamit. Ito, straightforward na. And one other thing, what do you notice about ito? What do we notice about this one? So summary cars, and then, how about this? Meron nakalagay dito na echo is equal to false. Ano yung effect ng echo is equal to false sa printout natin? So if I open this, echo is equal to false. Ayun, hindi niya sinama yung yung code chunk, di ba? Pero pinint niya, sinama niya output but not the code chunk. So that's the difference between include is equal to false at saka echo is equal to false. Pag include is equal to false, both the code and the output of this code will not be reflected in your printout. Pag pag echo is equal to false, hindi kasama yung printout ng code chunk na to. Pero kasama yung result ng code. Kaya yun ang echo is equal to false. Okay, stop muna ako, class. Feedback, please. Are you able to follow so far? I'll appreciate your feedback kung clear tayo so far. May mga questions? I might be going too fast. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Okay. Sige, let's continue now. Okay, let's go back to this one. Okay, and take note, please. Class, no, meron na tayo dito no? Yung na-save na yung HTML file natin dun sa project natin. So that's the advantage. We did not actually, sinave pala natin, ano? So, andyan na yan, no? All right. So, let's go back. Minimize ko to. Okay. So, today we're going to start working on this file. It's an introduction to R and R Studio. So, isang hashtag, ibig sabihin, main heading siya. Okay. Now, as I said before, sabi natin, ang R script and R Markdown has differences. May kaibahan sila. Si R script, purely script lang yun. And when you run a code, and then when you run a code, yung answer na lumalabas sa console. Si R Studio, what sets it apart is that meron tong code chunk. Yung code chunk, dyan natin linalagay yung codes natin. Para mas kita natin siya, para mas ma-document natin siya, kasi pwede natin bigyan ng name yan, di ba? Okay, so if you recall, by the way, no, this is a code chunk. How do you write a code chunk? 3 backticks muna, ito. Backtick, 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 and then open parenthesis R, and then close parenthesis R. Now here, may nakalagay na name 1. No? Para saan yung ganyan? It's best for you to give names to code chunks. Okay? Where do I find that? Here. Below. Kung titignan nyo to, class, if you click this one, alright, here you can see the code chunks. No? Chunk 1, name 1, pangalan, chunk 2, setup. Itong chunk 3, chunk 4, walang pangalan. So it will be quite difficult, lalo kung masyadong malaki yung mga code chunks nyo. Kung 1,000 na yan. So it's always important to give your code chunk a intuitive name. What's the purpose? So that later on, if you're going to open a file, okay, open a file, then open a particular code chunk, then ma-open siya. Okay? Any questions so far? Clear ba so far, class? Yung pag-open ng code chunk, okay? And then, did I tell you already the shortcut? So, what's the shortcut in creating a code chunk? Kasi ang haba niyan, di ba? Backtick, 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 open parenthesis, and R, then close parenthesis, and then backtick. Tatlong backticks ulit. So, there's a shortcut for that. No? Dito sinulat ko. Yan, no? It's Control-Alt-I for Windows or Command-Option-I for Mac. So, I'm using Windows, Control-Alt-I. Yan, shortcut. No? Makagawa kagad ako ng code chunk. So, paki-experiment nga, class. If you were able, and please collect feedback naman kung nakagawa kayo ng code chunk. Yung mabilis, yung may keyboard shortcut. Okay, thank you, Lawrence. How about the others? Okay, thank you. All right, good. Good. Okay, I hope the others are following along kasi mukhang hindi kompleto yung nag-confirm, no? Okay, so let's now go here. I just wanted to discuss with you yung code chunks. It's best to give it a name, and then yung shortcut niya, Control-Alt-I for Windows and Command-Option-I for Mac. And then give it a intuitive name so that later on, if you want to refer back to that, and ang laki-laki na ng date ng file, you can easily find that. Okay, here, no? All right. So let's have this very quick introduction to R and R Markdown.
Sir, question lang.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Napansin ko lang ho nung bringing up niyo po yung parang yung mga names ng chunk. Nag-a-adjust po ba yung mga chunk number every time na nag-a-add kayo? Depending kung ano yung order ng chunk?
Oo, yeah. Kung tingnan natin, ano, yeah, ito. Meron siyang default na, ano, na name. Chunk 1, chunk 2, chunk 3, chunk 4. Okay, tingnan nyo I'll add a code chunk here. So ito, lagyan natin ng pangalan to, no? Whatever, no? Ano ba? Try, ano na lang. Try 1. Okay. And then code chunk 2 is named 1. And then code chunk 3 is set up. Tapos, meron tayo ditong code chunk na walang pangalan, yung 4 and 5. Check natin, Okay, code chunk try 1, di ba? Name 1 setup. And if I insert here below, above, another code chunk here, Control Alt I. In-insert ko siya dito, no? Tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari sa indexing niya dito sa code chunk. Alright, yun, no? Nag-adjust siya, di ba? Code chunk, yung chunk 1 will be yung try, chunk 2 is no name, chunk 3 ngayon yung name 1. So naging 6 na siya ngayon. Ilang code chunks ba? 7, okay, hanggang 13 chunks, no? And then this is not a good way to do it kasi walang mga pangalan, no, yung mga code chunks. Did that answer your question? Sino yun? Si Lawrence ba yun? Who asked the question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Lawrence, no? Did that answer your question?
Yes, po.
Okay, so nag-automatic siya pag nag-i-insert ka, no? Tapos in the position pa kung saan mo in-insert. Alright, so with code chunks class, it's best to put your, syempre, ilalagay natin codes niya dyan para mag-run. Okay, so dito na tayo. No? Sabi natin, our Markdown combines Markdown. Markdown is a tool. It's used for publishing reports, even books. No? Meron nga mga na book down package. No? It's a language where it's easy to write plain text format. And then, meron tayong R. So, kinumbine niya yung features ni Markdown at saka yung features ni R para naman naging R Markdown. Okay, when compiling R, when we need R, kanina din, no? Sabi dito, the code components can be evaluated so that both the code and the output can be included in the final document. So ito yung maganda dito, di ba? Sabi natin na meron kang code chunk, okay? Sa final document mo, pwedeng i-pass dun sa final document yung result ng code na yun. It combines it into one, no? Yung sa final document. Okay? All right. So let's first take a look at this in data classes and data structures. Okay. All right. So data classes, meron tayong numeric, integer, character, logical, complex, and date. So let's discuss this very quickly. I think hanggang dito lang tayo matatapos, no? At least matapos natin to. So when you say numeric data, we're talking of real or decimal. Okay, for example, let's say yung object na pi. You know pi, di ba? Pi is a transcendental number, irrational number, 3.14, 15, etc. If I run that, control enter, then we have here 3.14, 15. Yun ang pi natin, no? Okay? So this is a number. And this is a numeric number, real or decimal. Okay? So let's also generate a exponential 3. This is e to the 3, no? E to the 3, if I print this, a 20.08554. Yun. Okay, and is exp to the 3, is that a numeric or an integer? Is pi numeric or integer? Pakichat nga please. Pi and exp, are they numeric or integer? Anyone? Chat please, everyone. Dali answer dyan, no? Si pi o si exp3, ano ba yan sila? Numeric data ba yan or integer? Class, come on. Numeric, correct. Numeric siya, no? Kasi may decimal places yan. All right, then let's say 18. Enter. So si 18, ano ba siya? Numeric siya or integer? Hindi ko Kuji, is that your answer for numeric? Bakit numeric? If you just take a look at it, mukhang integer siya, di ba? It looks like an integer kasi wala siyang decimal place. But let's see if it's really a numeric or integer. Now, in R, when you have figures like this, values like this, you can give them names. No? Okay, for example, dito, let's give this a name. Let's call it D1. Okay, D1 is equal to pi. So if I print this, if I run this, D1 is equal to pi, Control Enter, what happened? Notice na something appeared in our environment. Yan. So we have created this object called D1. So this one, the D1, will now be an object created in R. And you can access that object, D1 na yan. Okay, so let's see D2. Gawin natin tong D2 is equal to exponential 3. Run natin to, Control Enter. Alright, what happened? Hindi siya nag-print dito, pero it's reflected here, D2, no? 20.08. Alright? So since D1 and D2, okay, we can now check what type of data is the D1. So we can use the class function. There's a function in Excel called class. Okay? So class ni D1, ano sasabihin sa atin? Anong class yan? Control Enter. So it's numeric. Tama tayo. No? Si D1, which is equal to pi, is numeric. How about D2? Class ni D2. Okay, it's also numeric. No? It's also numeric. Now, if I create this object D3, then equal to, and then run natin to D3 is equal to 18. And then let's see if what type of object is D3. Class D3. Okay. You might be tempted to think that this is integer, but it's not. It's numeric. So si D3, which is 18. Now, you might be asking, bakit naging numeric? Di ba ano yan? Di ba whole number yan? Okay, it's a whole number, yes. However, R will read this as numeric, as one with pwedeng maging point 0.0000. Okay, sorry. Okay, parang decimal na rin, no? Parang may mga zero siya. Okay, so it's numeric. Okay, now, it's not advisable to use equal sign to assign your name to your value. Hindi siya maganda kasi baka, kunyari pi, tapos may equation ka pa rin dito. So baka ma-confuse yung computer natin, no? So what's better is what we call the assignment operator. So ano si assignment operator? D1 pi. All right, it's this one, no? Yung less than tapos yung this is called your assignment operator. Okay? Less than and then minus. Now sa R, kasi mahaba yan, ano, yung less than tsaka minus, mas maganda kung shortcut Alt and then minus for R, no? For Windows, Alt and then minus, and then for Mac, it's option yata, option minus. Paki-check nga please. So if you want to create this, okay, just press Alt minus. Yan. So hindi ka na magle-less than at saka yung minus, mas mabilis yung Alt minus. For Mac, it's option minus. Paki ano nga, those Mac users, kindly please confirm kung option minus siya.
Yes po.
Anyone? Okay, thank you. All right, good. Salamat ha. Okay, so mas maganda to class, no? Yung assignment operator na to. So from now on, hindi tayo gagamit ng equal to sa assignment operator. Ang gagamitin natin yung ito, yung less than at saka minus, no? So if I run this, tawagin ko siyang D1A para ma-preserve natin yung D1 to see if ma-generate nga to. Control Enter. Alright, nagkaroon ng D1A dito. Ibig sabihin na-create itong object na to. Alright, may D1 tayo, may D1A din tayo. Okay, so pi. Okay, also I forgot to point out that si D1 numeric, si D2 numeric, so we can actually perform operations. No? Si D1 kasi 3.14, si D2 20.08, so we can perform operations with them. So 3 point something plus 20 point something, you get 23 point something. Okay? All right. Now also, when we use this function, hindi automatically nagpiprint si hindi nagpiprint si R. So if you want to generate the answer here, D1A, gagawin mo pang wait. Still, you must make it either, i-type mo siya D1A. If you type D1A, Control Enter, it will print out here. But if you just use this, D1A is assigned to pi, Control Enter, hindi siya magpiprint dito. You have to write print DIA, so ito print DIA, or you can just use D1A. Oops. Print D1A, or you can just type D1A. So pareho magpiprint yan sa baba. If I run that, alright, pareho nagprint, no? Print D1A at saka D1A. Now, however, if I don't want to create another line for this, ang pwede natin gawin, lagyan nyo lang to ng parenthesis. Open and close parenthesis. There. I-delete ko to. And meron tayong D1A assigned to pi. Then, open and close parenthesis, Control Enter. So, automatically magpiprint siya. No? So, in some instances, when you want to generate the output immediately sa script window, kung if you're using assignment operators, can put parentheses there. All right. So that takes care of the numeric, no? Now, very easy itong integer naman. Okay, so let's call it the D4. D4. So this is, let's say 100. You have to put L. Okay? You have to put L, which stands for long. Ibig sabihin, this will be stored as integer. No? So let me run that. Alright, tingnan natin dito. D4, andyan na si D4, no? 100L daw. If you get the class of D4, what does it say? Integer siya. Okay, so if you want integers, generate integers, dapat may mga L for long. Okay, so that takes care. Tingnan natin class. Yan, tama, no? Ang class niya integer. Okay, next, yung character. Ano naman tong character? Ang character sa R, kailangan may quotes. No? Quotes, quotation, and then true, for example. And lagyan natin ang object to D5. Alt minus. Okay, D5 is true. Okay, i-check natin if we print this. So D5, true. Yan, may quote siya. Ibig sabihin, character siya. Let's check class, and then D5. Okay, enter, and then character. So ang character class, dapat may may quotes, no? It can be a sentence, it can be a paragraph. Pag may start quotes, end quotes, character yun. Okay, as distinguished from logical. Ano naman si logical? So let me create D6. Okay. Si logical, dapat D6A. Okay, let's say F. Okay, take a look at this both. No? Si D6, true siya. Si D6A, F. So how do you write logical values in R? Either you type the whole word, true, or just the first letter F, kaya T. Now, personally, I don't recommend using F or T kasi minsan ginagamit natin yan as a to name no? Objects. Okay, so spell out nyo na lang true at saka false. If I type here false, at saka dapat all caps, no? Pag hindi all caps yan, mag-e-error yan. Okay, so if I run that line, so meron tayong D6, D6A. If I check class ni D6. Ano yung class ni D6? Control Enter. Yeah, it's logical. Okay, pause muna ako. Any questions so far, class? Any questions so far? Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Go to the second to the last. Okay, itong complex. So we know, class, ang complex, call it D7, alt minus. Ang complex, di ba, let's say a real number plus an imaginary number. Yung I, yung square root of -1. Okay, anyway, hindi naman tayo talaga gagamit ng complex numbers dito. But suffice it to say that we can also create complex numbers. D7, control enter. Yan, no? 3 plus 2i, D7. Okay? So whenever we create objects, andi dito siya, no? It will be reflected here and it will be available for either computation, for reference, etc. Magagamit natin siya. Okay, for example, D1 is greater than D3. Okay, is D1 greater than D3? Let's check. Okay, false siya, no? False kasi D1 is not greater than D3. Okay, we'll discuss that more in greater detail as we go along in true, false. Okay, so ang last natin dito is yung date, no? Tapos na tayo sa complex number. Paano naman sa date? So let's create an object called D8, alt minus, and then tingnan natin itong 20, 23, 05, 12. So what happens if we have this object? We're assigning it to D8, 2023, 05, 12. Control Enter. Ano nangyari? So D8, lagyan natin ng parenthesis para makita natin. Okay, 2006. So anong nangyari? Trinit ni ni R as numeric, no? 2023 minus 5 minus 12. So class natin, class ni D8. So of course that will be numeric. Okay, so ano yung tama? Yung tingnan natin, control C. Baka naman, let's call this A. Hindi kaya dapat hindi minus, dapat slash. Okay, so if we use slash, i-print ulit natin, answer? 33.71. Ibig sabihin, ginawa niya division. 2023 divided by 5 divided by 12. Which is not what we want, no? So, paano kaya to? If we now use, for example, gaya natin, Control C, Control V. If we use D8B, no? baka kailangan may quotes. If you use this quotes, okay, ano mangyayari? D8B, print natin. So, ano siya? Class D8B. Well, tingnan nyo lang kung ano yung di ba? May quotes yan. Ibig sabihin, ano siya? Character siya. Character siya, no? Okay, so that's not how you create dates. So pag date, the correct one is, let's call it D9, no? D9 out minus, and then you have to use a function as that date. As that date, and then 2023-05-12. So pwede ba to? Let's run this, control enter. Okay, error siya, no? Error siya. Alright, bakit siya error? Sabi dito, origin must be supplied. Okay, so how do we correct this? Baka slash siya. Ito, baka ganyan. Kung ganito, error pa rin, no? Okay, so anong mali dito? Dapat to nasa quotes. Okay, so that's how you will create a date. Okay, control enter. There, may D9 na tayo, no? Tapos ano sabi sa D9? 2023-05-12, and then UTC. This is Universal Timing Convention, UTC. So if we check class D9, control enter, there, date na siya. Okay, so any questions? Clarifications, please?
So question lang, I tried it as well. I could not find function as date.
Okay. All right. How about the others? Same error? Feedback, please, kung nakita nyo yung as that date. No error, mine works. Okay.
Capital po ba dapat yung D?
Oh, capital yung D, Yan,
Okay.
Very sensitive si R sa Very sensitive si R sa text, no? Did it work now?
Wait lang.
Sige.
Yes, it works na po, sir.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good. Thank you for those questions. I'll keep them coming. Okay, so let me first stop recording.